really, really tense, right? So this is for all the marbles, and we've got some really, really excellent runners here on both sides. Starting off already. So we did say that earlier on, it is a standard start, meaning that these guys are going to have to go through the escape sequence. They are guaranteed a sword, so when they talk to their uncle, they're going to be able to slash their way through. And of course, we do see a very funny looking guard guarding the castle, meaning that this is going to be Randomizer, so we may not actually see the normal, blue and green guards that everyone's kind of used to. In fact, we're going to get probably quite a few surprises, and hopefully these runners are up to the task of handling them.
I've got no doubt of that. They've got a sword. What else do they need? It's fine.
Yes. Yes. Alright, okay, well, so starting off, this doesn't look too bad. We got Hardtab Beetle, and a little mini Moldorm. Of course, as you mentioned, that sword is going to take care of these guys, no worries whatsoever.
And early map check over on Ares' side, we've got 2 red crystals and a blue here in the light world.
What the heck is that thing chasing them? It's like a hybrid monster that has quite a bit of speed boost to them. Alright, so of course, being a part of the standard sequence, with, a sword, these runners are going to be on the lookout for that lucrative bomb drop from enemies, or hopefully they're going to find some bombs here in one of the chests, because one of the last things that you want to happen later is that you can't get a bomb to get to the back of escape, and your opponent does.
Absolutely. That's the sort of thing that's just going to weigh in the back of your mind until you're able to get back there. What's hiding in the back? Please don't let it be the glove.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, what would be better than bombs? They find boots here in Escape, in which case you don't need any bombs. You could just bonk yourself right into that back.
Absolutely. Now, these next couple of kill rooms forced to spawn enemies that can be killed by bomb. I believe everything that can be killed with a bomb can also be killed with a sword. So probably nothing too much to worry about until we reach that nice narrow little snake room in the sewers with a whole bunch of who knows what enemies all crammed together, and you got to get through.
Yeah, everyone's kind of used to these ropes doing like half a heart of damage or something like that. That is definitely not going to be the case today. Eri, gently being reminded that you do need, in fact, a big key to open that locked door.
We've all done it.
Alright, so it looks like, with that little extra text box pause, we do have daaanty taking an insurmountable lead over Eri as we're rescuing Princess Zelda and trying to get her to the sanctuary.
Yeah, these standard starts are so much fun with both of the runners going neck and neck and getting little micro leads and losing them, and it all seems so important. And then by the end of the seed, we forget who was ahead because of the big swings that are to come later.
That's right. Yeah, as you said, so far this Randomizer looks actually pretty tame, but we have not gotten to the fun part of Escape yet. We do not know what's lurking in the back, so to speak. Now, of course, because this is a standard start, we do notice that neither runner has the lamp. It is a standard start, so then they are going to be able to get that light cone automatically, so they won't have to, kind of like feel their way through the dark. While these runners are both very adept at every dark room in this game, Randomizer dark rooms are not your friend, and they are not something that you want to tackle.
Absolutely, and even with that light cone, in Randomizer, sometimes when you've only got 3 hearts and green mail, something can come swooping at you fast, and you gotta think fast.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, jeez. All right, so we got our first surprise. daaanty reacting really well, just barely dodging that spike friend that was coming right at him. Holy cow!
Both of our runners making it through that nasty, narrow little corridor pretty adroitly here. And we've got a red cane there in Dark Cross.
Yeah, Yeah, that's definitely a really nice. Oh my gosh, Eri! Where did he get the first bomb? I must have definitely missed that. But yeah, Eri's got a great bomb drop here, so he's gonna be able to get to the back of Escape. I'm certainly hoping that daaanty is gonna find a bomb relatively soon. Oh man, that key rat has definitely upgraded.
I bet he wishes he had a bomb right now.
That's right.
Because it takes quite some doing with that fighter sword to take down this Hinox. But daaanty makes it look easy.
These runners make everything look easy.
You can see daaanty thinking about,
gosh.
do I want to try and kite this Hinox into opening it for me? Do I want to try and farm? He's trying to farm some bombs here.
Alright, so Eri, being able to kind of get to the bounty of the back of this game is actually pretty good. So we saw a bottle, and we see a second Master Sword. So the Sword Beams are, it's going to be really a nice firepower addition to his arsenal. Oh no, daaanty!
Oh, simul deaths, no less. Both of our runners are gonna be worrying that they're behind, but we know they're both just fine.
Mm-hmm. Holy cow. Yeah, so all of these enemized enemies here in Escape, they are Dark World enemies. You know, Hinoxes, Ropas, you know, they do at least 2 parts of damage use. Hinox, I think, does, I want to say 4 on Green Mail. But, I mean, you know, you are not expected to have a maximum of 3 parts facing these guys.
Yep, and we're talking about Green Mail. Get used to that, because that is all we will be seeing in this hard item pool seed today.
Oh, yeah, you are. You bring up a very excellent point. I'd almost forgotten about the fact that they're actually gonna get a reduced set of luxury items, including, as you said, there is gonna be no mail upgrades today.
Yeah, and in fact, if daaanty has to leave that Master Sword behind, he might have to get used to Fighter Sword for a while, because we max out at Tempered.
Alright, try 2 for both these runners. You know, as you said, Eri being able to pick up that Master Sword is going to have a little bit of an advantage in firepower, even getting through this room.
Yep, daaanty's being pretty careful here. He does not want to take a second death, as Eriror does. Oh dear.
Yeah, it looks like Eri kind of faced the same set of surprises here with the red guards. Unfortunately claiming Eri's second chance, so Eri's going to go for hopefully 3rd time's the charm here. daaanty taking it, playing it very conservatively, but he is the first of our 2 runners to make it through the very dire escape sequence. Very much kudos to daaanty.
Yep, and those NPCs, the priest and the lovely Lady Zelda, they will not refill your health in that situation. You would have to walk back in to get a refill, because the game expects you on your first trip there to get the Sank Heart, which of course was not in evidence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so at least, you know, the good news for daaanty is that while he is going to miss out on a bottle and a Master Sword, which are certainly very useful items in you know, in the game, especially the Randomizer, it's not like a dire thing, as in like it's you know, it's not like it's going to be like a glove or something that he's going to absolutely be forced to go back to for.
Yep, that bottle might come in extra handy for Eri being able to check Sick Kid on his first trip through Cack Village, and oh, Eri takes another death.
Alright, okay, 4th time to charm, Eri, you got this. Those red guards, man. I mean, you know, there's a reason why NMG people do spin speed at the top bottom of the village to avoid, you know, all of the guards in order to try and get that speed advantage. Those guys are really not fun. Meanwhile, daaanty did make a check to the lumberjack. I think it was like a 20 rupee or something, so we're not going to have to kill Aga for that item today. Meanwhile, he gets his first bomb drop. Maybe he was probably thinking, like, man, if only I got this in Escape instead of right afterwards.
And a heart container. there in the Lost Woods, usually kind of one of those shrug whatever items, but in Enemizer, knowing you're never going to get a better mail upgrade than you have right now, it's nice to have. That 4th heart container is a big deal.
Oh, heck yeah. Especially this early on, right? We're seeing that, Eri would certainly at this point very much appreciate another heart. Oh no. Iframes were not his friend today. Or didn't last long enough for him. Yeah, actually, and speaking of which, so because this is also hard item pool, we're not going to get any mail upgrades. We are also not going to be able to get up to 20 hearts. In fact, the heart container count is going to be max capped at 14.
Yes, indeed. Of course, the other big difference being that silver arrows will be nowhere to be found today.
Alright, daaanty finding one of our first, I guess, fetch quests, which is this shovel. Shovel, of course, is very much used for a guaranteed item at the dig spot, but, if daaanty has ever, decided to be a little short on resources, there is plenty of ground for him to also use that shovel and hopefully get some, extra clutch resources like a bomb or some arrows, or maybe some magic, if he's in a tight spot.
Eri grabbing a nice quad bomb drop there. At this point, you start to wonder, maybe just bomb that other wall in the back of Escape and just bypass all those guys altogether.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Actually, you actually bring up a really good point. The fact that the back of Escape not only is great for items, is that it also offers a really nice safety because there are no enemies by the time you get back over here.
But meanwhile, daaanty finding a Master Sword of his own, meaning that Eri, once he gets out of Escape, will have an early Tempered, courtesy of the Cack Well. Also finding Flute on Bottle Merchant. So we've got some nice movement options this early in the seed.
Oh yeah, yeah. So really, the upgrade from Fighter Sword to Master Sword, at least for daaanty, is very major, right? So at this point, even though an upgrade from the Master Sword to Tempered Sword is also pretty big, daaanty is certainly in a much better position than he was. What a scary chicken house with so many more guards. But of course, daaanty, gets it through with that Master Sword. It is rewarded with $20 more.
And Eri did finally make his way out of that escape sequence. Typically in an NMG run, 6-minute escape is pretty good. But in Enemizer, sometimes it's 12 minutes, even for a runner as talented as this.
Oh yeah, yeah. The enemies do not distinguish between how good of a runner you are. It will clobber you for just as much health as the next guy. Alright, so meanwhile, Eri looks like he's going to put off the Lumberjack check for the time being. This is certainly very common among runners, especially if you don't have the boots. Because you can't actually claim the prize behind Lumberjack and the tree bonk without them. So Eri most likely is going to check that after he gets more movement on his hands. Or feet, for that matter.
And it's the legendary chain of fetch quests today.
Yeah.
The shovel leading to the powder.
Yeah, so of course we can't actually check magic powder without that hammer. That is a, so I won't say a hard requirement, but that's certainly a very common requirement. But of course, the powder itself is also a really nice safety, for these runners. Because Randomizer seems to really, like anti-fairies for one reason or another. So if you have the powder, that is definitely to your advantage.
Yep, and this is a hard item pool, which restricts which items we will be able to get. It is not hard item functionality. That powder will work as normal.
Oh yeah, and of course, speaking of which, we already do have at least one bottle. It looks like on both sides, and so another great safety in Randomizer, especially, is going to be that bug net, right? You can not only fight IO2 with it, but you can catch lots of fairies, which is really great and comes in quite handy if you have the powder.
Yep, but I believe only Eri has the bottle right now. That was in the back of Escape, which Daaanty didn't have the bomb for. So keep an eye on Eri's screen.
Okay.
He's going to be able to check Sick Kid right now.
See Eri remembering to activate that flute, quick swapping over to it right before he checks bottle vendor, or the sick kid. Oh wow, and look at that. Another nice early heart container for Daaanty. His health has, oh wow, not only that, it's the sync heart too, so his health has ballooned up to almost double his original. Oh no, go away thieves, don't rob me of my bombs.
Let's see what lurks in Mini Mold today. It's just these, I'm sure they have names, these little tentacle boys. It's fine.
Yeah, they are. The poop boys are by far one of the most friendly things that you want to see in Randomizer seeds. Oh wow! Alright, so we have all of the swords already. Daaanty is not going to be missing a single thing if he never goes back to the back of Escape.
Yes, indeed. So the way it works in Hard Item Pool, there are 4 swords in the pool, but like other progressive items, since Butter Sword is not part of it, if Daaanty ever does make his way to the back of Escape, he's going to find a green 20 where Eri found his Master Sword.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and likewise, when Eri goes and visits Mini Moldorm Cave, he's going to pick up that green 20 from the chest in place of his Butter Sword. Alright, Daaanty, being very thorough in his trek, makes his way all the way over to Ice Rock Cave. Just a heart piece today. Certainly still come in handy, but that's definitely going to be one location that he's not going to isolate.
Yeah, it's been a pretty convenience item, nice seed, especially for Hard Item Pool, but progression light. We have no glove, no hammer, no moon pearl. I'm expecting to see both of our runners be very thorough until that changes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, meanwhile, Daaanty is swimming over here to Hobo. This is going to be somewhat another inconvenient place to get to, just because it's kind of like so far out of the way. But progression doesn't care where, how convenient your trek is to that item. If it's placed there, you have to go get it.
Yep, sometimes it feels like progression very much does care and tries to hide itself in the least convenient spots.
Alright, it's like, yeah. So Daaanty has, gotten a second heart piece for his trouble with Hobo. It looks like we're going to make some more in-logic checks here, visiting Waterfall Fairy. So technically, Zora himself is also in logic, but unfortunately, neither Daaanty nor Eri has the amount of cash needed to pay him off. What did I just say? Never mind, Daaanty has just enough money to pay off Zora. He is good to go.
RNGesus heard me throwing shade and said, "Hey, I can be nice."
Alright, so we actually do see Eri here in Mini Popoy Cave. A slight difference in that I think Daaanty actually gained a little bit of time over Eri because he came in with sword beams, so he was just kind of able to slash a couple times, whereas Eri unfortunately lost them earlier on due to getting hit by a bomb, so he kind of had to go over there and slash them the hard way. Oh, jeez.
RNGesus giveth and he taketh away. Did you like that $500? Because how do you like 3 bombs?
If we go to the Dark World, you can buy a big bomb for 100, and yet Zora charges us 500 for 3 regular bombs. I mean, this is like ripoff after ripoff here.
Daaanty heading into what can be a surprisingly dangerous dark room. because it includes a spawn point. So in Randomizer, when you don't know what you're going to face, if you take a bad death here, you might be stuck until you find a way out. And we've got, at the very least, a Gibdos.
Meanwhile, Eri decided to not quite visit Ice Rod Cave, taking a little bit, giving us some new, making a slight bit of a divergence to the desert area. I think daaanty already got this check, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I believe he did this before South Shore, but with Flute in hand, it really doesn't matter when you route it in. It's spending the same amount of time. And there's Hookshot on the old man.
Yeah, daaanty. That hook shot, as you mentioned, from the fact that daaanty got this without the lamp, means that it's actually not quite in logic. So this actually be a really nice find here for daaanty. And with that hook shot, he can hook to the right side of Death Mountain, and which means he can, like, say, go to like Paradox Cave. So actually, a lot more items actually just open up for him here.
Yep. Eri, on the other hand, sticking to logic for the moment, is heading to, looks like, Sasra's closet.
Yeah, especially with the flute. Flute to 5, and to get 3 easy checks here in the back is very reasonable for Eri to do.
And that'll be a 6th heart container, but not a whole lot else in here for him.
Yeah. So normally, when we look and see getting heart pieces in C's, people are just kind of roll their eyes, right? I'm sure Eri at this point, as well as daaanty, definitely appreciates the early health boost in Randomizer seats. Oh no, Eri got Death Rock right in front of me.
Oh.
Oh. Yeah, we complain so much about having Dead Rocks in Death Mountain. They are just as bad everywhere else they put in.
And that was a Quake in Paradox Cave. We'll see what else it holds for us. Reading the logic, we're running out of places for Lamp to be. Oh, and there's Boots in Paradox.
Yeah, that. Oh man, daaanty, I'm sure, is quite happy to see this, because now he can dash to his heart's content, and with that Temper Sword, he can pretty much just demolish anything in his way. daaanty showing us off his ability to further use Boost to his advantage, saving himself an extra bomb there and a little bit of probably preserving some much needed health here in Randomizer.
Yep, that saved him, what, half a heart and half an ounce of salt from those of us who can't hover.
Only half an ounce? I got it. Okay. Oh yeah, and speaking of convenience, man, isn't it, I'm sure daaanty was probably thinking, like, I've got to go through Spiral Cave, and I've just got to only block. And not only that, he's got the boots now, so he can go fast.
Yep, but speaking of inconvenience, Eri did in fact just find the lamp there in Eastern Palace, and that's not what you want to find there. It keeps you in logic, but it means that daaanty will likely be able to do Eastern all at a go instead of double dipping, unless Eri finds some other form of progression in here.
Mm. Yeah, so at least certainly with that lamp, we know, as viewers, that hookshot now is 100% in logic. Oh, wow.
Oh, and that Moon Pearl on the Witch. Where did daaanty find that mushroom? That had to be on the mountain, right?
Yeah, I think it was Spiral Cave, I want to say.
So daaanty saving quite a bit of time with that early mountain trek, and out of logic, hookshot pull from the old man into a a Moon Pearl locked by a fetch quest.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, and you actually do bring up a good point. So from daaanty's perspective, right, he doesn't know where the lamp is. So as far as he's concerned, that Moon Pearl and hookshot is actually completely out of logic. So that's something that's gonna be something that's gonna be on the back of his mind.
Yep, and that is likely why he is heading into Eastern area here. He He wants that lamp. He wants to know, are we looking at an Aga seed, which it looks like we very much might be. That lamp will put that in logic as well, I believe.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We got, like, all our swords probably within the first one, like 5 minutes or 10 minutes of the seed. So even though this is an all-dungeon seed, I mean that we do have to climb Aga Tower and defeat Agnum proper. The fact that we are still lacking Dark World access means that we might have to do this sooner rather than later.
But speaking of things that we can do sooner than usual, Eri heading into the back of Eastern Palace, normally bow-locked. I believe the logic still does consider it bow-locked, even in Randomizer. But he doesn't care. He's going to go see what that boss is.
That's right. So you're absolutely right in that all of these rooms, so the rooms still assume that they are original red Igors here. You do still need a bow, even though it's been entomized. We don't actually know what the boss is because it is boss shuffle. Eri is definitely hoping that he's going to be able to kill whatever is here. But if he can't, this is going to be knowledge for him for what potentially other items he needs. Oh, man. how unoriginal, or I should say how original in this case.
Well, he can kill them. It's going to take a little while compared to what you might be used to, but not longer than leaving and coming back. So he's going to make full use of that tempered and sword beams.
Oh yeah, and you actually see that Eri in preparation kind of quick swap to that bottle, just in case, right? If something goes wrong.
Yeah, as Bolus Armos fights go, you can do a lot worse than sword beams. He does not want to lose those. And hey, there's the blue boomerang, maybe the worst way of fighting that boss.
Yeah, and Eri, of course, he very adept in damage tables from probably from NMG. He knows that in this case, sword beams are certainly the fastest way of killing Armos without the bow. For given his arsenal, daaanty for sure is if he has sword beams, he's going to use those as well. Alright, so after that first crystal claim on Eri's side, he is beelining to the mountain. So this is going to be really good news for him because he's going to rescue the old man. He's going to get his hook shot, and he's going to be able to make his way to Paradox Cave and find his boots as well. So he certainly won't be that much farther behind daaanty.
Yep, daaanty definitely taking a bit of an early lead here, but there is still a lot of game left to play between these two runners. As you said, by a lot of game. So we did see Eri and soon to be daaanty kind of finishing off the first crystal dungeon. We are going to need today escape sequence, which we already did in standard at the beginning. All 3 light world dungeons, all 7 dark world dungeons, Aga Tower and Agnum 1, and Ganon's Tower and Agnum 2, and of course Ganon himself. Oh, and interesting. daaanty opting to stick within logic and save and quit out rather than go into the back and risk hitting a boss that he cannot defeat. Of course, we know definitely doable, but he's going to opt to take that lamp into Aga Tower and get himself some Dark World access here. That'll cost him a little bit of time down the road. Not too bad. He can hope for Mirror and be able to route that dungeon clear in with Pod a little later on.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely a good point. Yeah, and daaanty most likely thinks that at this point I've seen so much already. Because he hasn't seen the bow yet, he knows the boss. I guess can't have anything in that regard. That's going to give him Dark World access. And so he's like, well, I need a glove. This is probably going to be this is going to be my ticket to Dark World otherwise. Yeah,
very, very low chance that anything that he found on that Eastern Palace boss was going to make the difference. And of course, we know from looking at Eri's screen that he's absolutely right.
Just once, I want the boomerang to to be logical progression as our only fighting implement. All right, Eri showing us the alternative way to kind of get over this pit here without the boots. Showing us that you can in fact also bomb jump over. Looks like he's also going to be on his way picking up his mushroom. and then presumably he's going to kind of do retrace some of Dante's steps and turn in the mushroom for his moon pearl, and then probably climb Aga Tower. Yeah, so far, this Aga Tower is actually, I would consider this to be actually enemized, to be slightly easier than the normal enemies that we normally see, because, we're kind of used to lots of like blue guards and red guards that could chase you at, the drop of a pin. But instead, we've got some pretty, I would say, relatively tame enemies.
Yeah, there are only a handful of places that are typically easier rather than harder in Randomizer. Usually it's only certain rooms in Turtle Rock and then the Ganon's Tower Gauntlet, but it's been a fairly friendly tower here today.
Yeah, I'm also glad to see that there were no surprise wall masters in Aga Tower that were enemized in. One of the worst feelings you can have is you get all the way to the top, and then a hand grabs you, and then you get to replay the content again. Dante getting his hook speed into Aga Tower, meaning he can get here much. Saves a little bit of time taking on Aga 1. I think I counted 1 blue ball so far. Now, of course, this is seeded between the 2 runners, so however many number of blue balls Dante is going to get is going to be the exact same number on Eri's side when he gets here.
Yep, Aga 1, one of the slower, the least dangerous, but can be one of the slower boss fights. About all you can do to try to make it a little quicker for yourself is to position yourself such that you knock him towards the center of the room and give him less distance to travel to his next position. It's not much, but you might as well do it. And here's our Dark World map check. Looks like green pendant thieves and the other 2 pendants in Mire and Swamp today.
Yeah, so, typically in a all dungeon seed, the layout of crystals and pendants are probably not as important to runners. However, as we've seen, there is a 5-6 crystal definitely still unlocks the big bomb, which could be progression. And getting all 3 pendants to pull that pedestal in the Lost Woods can also lead to something else as well.
Yep, and I'm trying to read through the logic here and see what might be on Ped, and I don't think it could be hiding anything too terrible. It could be a bow, but with 2 progressive bows still in the item pool, even though silvers will not be usable. It's unlikely that Ped will be required today. Not impossible, but unlikely.
Oh yeah, and even though we do see Mire is a pendant, we do not know the medallion entry into Turtle Rock, and so medallions really can hide anywhere.
Yep, that's true.
All right, so Dante was super fast in checking Bumper Cave, and I didn't actually catch what it was. I'm hoping it's not going to be anything important. They don't have the cave, so they can't actually get it quite yet, but it is going to be knowledge for Dante. As he gets bamboozled by a flying dead rock, I guess. And that was hiding under the bushes. You ever feel like you're in a Mario game with all these, like, fire bars?
Now all we need are some chain chomps to round it out.
Which is super likely, by the way, in Randomizer. Maybe not super likely, but it's definitely higher chance than that one room that they normally appear in.
In before they managed to mix in some Link's Awakening enemies and get some Goombas up in this. I say it like it's a joke, but given the crazy things that these coders are able to get up to, who knows what the future will bring.
Daaanty trying his best to get over to the big chest in Randomizer, and that BMOS there especially, it does not make his life easy for him, but managed to claim his prize of 20 rupees. I think that was our first item in Skull Voice, which is the first of 2.
I believe you're correct. And it's little time saves like this that separate the men from the boys. Myself, in that situation, I've got 1 heart, it's Randomizer. I'm walking into that BMOS and taking the Death Warp just for the fill-up before I go deeper, but Daanty's not scared.
No. Yeah. Also, yeah, speaking of another time save, Daaanty just demonstrated that you could just hookshot right through that spike instead of having to walk all the way around.
Yep, which does also make the timing just perfect to catch a ride from Mr. Hand back to the beginning of the dungeon, because he's found everything he's going to until he finds the fire rod.
Yeah, meanwhile, it looks like Aries gonna start his Aga 1 fight. So, as we saw on Daanty's side, it was 3 blue balls. Aries just gotta have to, go through these motions and hope he doesn't drop one.
And that C-shaped house is just a wonderful place to find a hammer, because you can just head straight into Thieves Town. No worries that you're going to have to orphan an item. You will be able to full clear on the first try. Pending what's in the boss room, I should say, because it is still Randomizer.
Yeah, and in fact, like, probably Daaanty, before he, found that hammer in C-shaped house, you're probably thinking, like, oh, do I want to go to Thieves Town now? Like, am I going to have to, go to the back? After that, he doesn't have a care. Well, I won't say he doesn't have a care in the world, because he still has to get through Randomized Thieves Town, but definitely is another load off his mind for this.
And for those of you who are just tuning in, welcome to Game 5 of this 5-game series between the 2019 Titans Mitts of 2019 and Error 216 here in the Link to the Past Randomizer League Invitational Playoffs. It is full Randomizer, it is hard item pool, it is sword assured. It was standard start, which was very cruel to Eriror today, which gave Daaanty a nice early lead. And we've got an Argus fight here in Thieves Town.
Yeah, that is actually one of the quirks, I guess, about Thieves Town in a boss shuffle for Randomizer, is that in Thieves Town, we don't actually have to go and bomb open the ceiling, and the maiden is actually not there. In fact, the boss is just going to spawn. Blind himself can actually be in this room, but he will actually, but you don't have to go through like the normal maiden maiden rescue sequence in order to get him to spawn.
And in answer to a question in chat, with the loadout that Daaanty and indeed Eriror has at the moment, Trinex is unkillable with no fire or ice rod. Also, Cold Stare cannot be broken out of his shell without either the fire rod or bombos. So encountering either of those would mean piecing out.
Yeah, speaking of piecing out, one really great item that I'm sure both these runners would like to see soon, rather than later, is that mirror. Especially in the case where you encounter a boss deep into a dungeon that you can't kill, and you would like to know about much quicker. There's also something else about traveling between light and dark world and making these more efficient, but I'm sure it's the warping out of dungeons that they're really concerned about.
Yeah, we'll just orphan Graveyard Legend Cave 45. That never comes back to bite anybody. And chat's bringing up some good points. We were focusing on what could be on pedestal, but when looking at the pendant and crystal distribution, the other thing to think about is what could be hiding in GT, and the mirror could in fact be there, since it is only hard required for Swamp Palace, which is a pendant today.
Alright, daaanty. Looks like this is he dug up his first bottle, which certainly an Randomizer. You're never gonna turn that down, especially when you got that bug net. But also, so I guess I hadn't actually been counting the exact number of items in Thieves' Town, but it looks like daaanty did not end up attempting the back. So this could be a play, a bit of a divergence if Eri decides to go back and full clear Thieves' Town. Now, of course, you know, if there ends up kind of being nothing there and daaanty never goes back, it's definitely going to be time gained to daaanty over Eri.
Meanwhile, daaanty giving us our first look at Hype Cave. Looks like some bombs, some money, and a piece of heart. 0 of 10 hype today.
Mm-hmm.
Eri, thank you for making me feel better about walking right past ambush chest, because I swear I do this every third seed that I run. I don't know what it is about that chest that makes me want to walk right past it.
So, you know, sometimes the important things just go out the window when you got, you know, to worry about, like, what else do I have to deal with here in Randomizer. Alright, so, you know, daaanty's gonna put that Hype Cave money to good use. Gonna pay off, you're gonna go rescue Kiki, you know, give him 10 bucks, and then pay him off the 100 represent rookies here in order to and gain entry.
And this time I was counting items over on Eri's side. He did find 3 items in the front of Thieves' Town, so there's only one more to find. It's no wonder daaanty didn't head into the back.
Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you so much for doing that. Eri, alright, taking on Argus, giving us a glimpse of what could be a quick kill 0 cycle Argus. He got it! Really nicely done, Eri. Now, of course, no a fire rod or ice rod means he can't get an absolute fastest, I guess, Argus phase 2 kill, but he did really nice. 2 spins there with the temper sword, and he claims his first pendant of the night.
Yes, indeed. Besides that pendant, Argus just holding a map, so there is one more item to be found in the back of Thieves' Town, but that's a long way to walk for just one item.
I thought Eri was thinking about going back. It looks like he was just trying to get through hook speed. Alright, so he's gonna pick up his bug net here for the low price of 30 rupees.
daaanty did find a small key in that first pod chest, which means that the dungeon is not logically bow-locked, and for practical purposes, of course, it's not bow-locked because those mimics are murderable without the bow.
Yeah. daaanty, try to give us some new tech here, try to sprinkle some magic powder onto a bombable ball. Finds out, unfortunately, that it does not do any openings, so you gotta kind of switch back to bombs and do it the more traditional way. You know, and of course, with the addition of Quick Swap, right, these experiments and live games and tournaments are, of course, all the rage these days.
Speaking of things that you say as a joke, but I would be not at all surprised with some of the crazy glitches that have been discovered just in the last couple of years. If you told me, hey, did you know that you can powder if you get it on the right frame and it'll save you like 3/4 of a second every third time, I'd believe you.
Eri, I guess, satisfied with his one bottle that he picked up from the back of the stage, not even gonna pick it up, you know, from Dig Game.
Speaking of saving 3/4 of a second, pro gamer strats. You're a braver man than I am, Eri. But you're also better at this game than I am, so you know what? Confidence probably earned.
Oh, good. Spikes on pod on a hallway that is very narrow and unavoidable. Always really something really comforting to see here, especially on this bridge as well.
Yep, insult to injury. Oh, that's rude. That's rude.
Yeah, it's Etomai's spikes like this that kind of make the hammer jump a bit more difficult, if not impossible, to do in Randomizer.
Yeah, if you had cape, you could try to lay down that bomb and then uncape at just the right frame. I wouldn't. But there's the book. and a very rude enemy steals Dante's shield. That's okay, he didn't need it.
Oh yeah, you said this is hard item pool. I think the highest we're gonna go up to today is going to be fire shield.
I believe you're right. And meanwhile, Eri giving us, I believe, a new check here in batter. I don't think Dante did this one.
I believe you are correct. Oh,
and it's a glove! That is a huge find!
Yeah, jeez. Alright, so that is a definite, very positive momentum here on Aries side, finding our first glove of the seed. So I think you're right. Well, seriously, we can also see from our great tracker, Bandman25, clicking all the buttons behind the scenes for us, that Dante, in fact, does not have his glove, and I think it's because he kept going.
I believe so, and that was the other glove in the pod big chest.
Oh. Alright, so almost simultaneously, we saw both gloves here on both runners' side. Dante beelining into the back of Escape, thinking he's like, oh man, I can finally check this after 45 minutes. He maybe would have been a bit more excited to see a sword in a bottle versus here's going to be a green 20 in a bottle.
Well, even if it wasn't for the hard item pool, the sword you found would have been Butter Sword. Dante's a big boy. He doesn't need it.
That's right. Oh man, Eri, barely making it through that probably the worst screen here in Death Mountain. Oh wow, and really heads up usage there for the blue potion, because he only had one heart and he would have actually died because he accidentally got kind of sniped there by the Lionel.
Dante turning in that bottle, and that might be fortuitous timing for him because that might lead him back over to batter for his Titan's mitts.
Looks like you are correct. That's exactly where he's headed. All right, so Dante's going to be able to get his namesake item from his team name here in just a moment. Of course, not the 2019 Titan's mitts is going to be the 2021 Titan's mitts. So with those Titan's mitts pick up, this actually opens up quite a bit for Dante. So, with that flute, for example, he can flute over 2-6, which is Mire, which is looks like exactly what he's going to do. And take a peek here in the Mire area. So we're going to be able to get some medallion information for the dungeon entry, as well as some 2 quick checks here in Mire Shed.
And I believe I spied a Bombos as the entry requirement for Mire. We'll have our eagle-eyed tracker confirm or deny that in just a moment.
Eri, unfortunately trying to get a bumper skip, didn't looks like quite get the right pixels. He's gonna have to kind of try this again. But meanwhile, he is in here in the Tower of Hera, so he's going to be able to. Assuming this is also going to be a boss that he can fight, this is going to be Ares' second pistol. Oh man,
what is this?
Yeah, do we even have shuffled bosses these days?
I mean, I can confirm I've looked at the seed, but that is our second vanilla boss placement of the seed.
Eri rounding out more arrows here as the prize from Moldorm. Moldorm's really nice, easy boss fight here with with Tupper Sword. All right, let's see where Eri ends up going next to. Looks like that was our first of 2 items here in Hera, and our last one looks like it's going to be in the basement itself. So, Eri certainly decides to go back and be thorough and claim this last one. Now, of course, he does not have the book that daaanty found in Pod, nor does he have the mitts. So he's actually, I'm not sure what else he has kind of like left to do here up the mountain, because he can't access Dark Death Mountain and he can't access the Ether Tablet.
Yeah, he could hop into Spike Cave. It's not in logic, but depending on what's sitting in that bottle of his, no, he used his blue on the way up, so he wouldn't even be able to brute force it, I don't believe.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, because we don't have an invisibility item, and we don't have enough health to get through the hard way.
Oh, and that's a fire rod on Ether Tablet. Eri, not having the book from Pod, will not be able to pick that up. And daaanty is just parlaying that early advantage into an even greater lead here.
Yeah, so certainly, thankfully, the fire. So Eri did have the lamp, so that means that they did not. So that means you at least can full clear Hera, right? We saw that you can use the fire source here in the basement, but yeah, that fire rod is going to open up a little bit more possibilities also for daaanty. For example, now they can clear the back of Skullwoods. We see simultaneous dueling Hera pots on both sides.
Yep, Eri does get it first.
Alright, looks like nothing useful in Hera. I think it was a 10 arrow pack on Mulder himself, and then looks like we pull 50 rupees out of the big chest.
Eri's heading back to the Aga portal. Looks like a pod play may be in the offing. He'll be happy when he gets there finding the Titans. Unfortunately, when do you get back up there for the Ether Tablet when you've already done Hera?
Yeah, I guess really see, Eri being, making a reasonable play into, going back there when he thinks he's ready for Total Rock.
Or when he's, and taking an unfortunate Lionel death. Okay, he had a fairy.
Oh, that's right. Yes, he did. He put that powder to full advantage when he was up in Paradox Cave, powdered one of the anti-fairies coming out, and catching it with his bug nets. Alright, looks like daaanty is going to make the same play here, so it's going to be both even time spent for both these runners in Hera. I'm sure daaanty will feel just as much excitement picking up that 50 rupees from the big chest as Eri did.
Yep, and if you're in daaanty's shoes, I think playing a little thorough definitely makes sense. You might not know just how far ahead you are, but you've got to be feeling good. All of his gambles have been paying off today. I can't think of a place that he's gone that hasn't had something that he needed.
Mm-hmm. Yes, speaking of which, for not having that mirror, daaanty has taken quite a bit of damage here from these tiles. My guess is maybe he wants to mirror out, Death Warp out, because, as we saw earlier, daaanty having both the book and in the Titan Smiths, he's going to have a lot more options for him here in Death Mountain.
Yep, he's taking the Death Warp. He's going to go upstairs and put that big key to good use, and then likely continue on to Dark Death Mountain with those Titan's mitts.
Alright, Eri, back in the area for Village of Outcasts. Looks like he is actually decided to go to the back. Back of Escape Thieves Town with Randomizer is certainly a dangerous place. But certainly a runner as good as Eri is going to be ready for whatever comes at him. Like that wall master that he just murdered in this first floor.
Exactly. Yeah, this is going to be a relatively low percentage play here for Eri. There's only one item to be found here. It is a new item. We don't know what it is, but we do know that what he really needs are those Titan's mitts, and they're in Pod, which is where the item density is, but Eri may be feeling a little bit behind and feeling like he needs to make some plays.
Yeah, they, so, like, for example, that early death, or those early sets of death in Escape probably, it could be weighing on his mind. Although how Eri is getting through these rooms without taking damage is kind of a testament to how good Eri is.
And question in the chat, wondering why both runners skipped Hera Big Chest on the first climb. With the big key in the basement, they were hoping to get both of the 2 items that are hidden in Tower of Hera without having to open up that chest, hoping that it was containing something like the small key, a map, or a compass, and that they might never need to go down to that time-consuming basement where you have to wait for all those tiles. It's mathematically a pretty good gamble. If you do it consistently over the long run, it will save you time, but this time both of our runners lost.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Daaanty gave us a new set of 4 checks in Hookshot Cave. Not probably the most conveniently placed items or enemies, but he's got a little bit of money and a little bit of extra health for his trouble. But oh wow, that Super Buddy find though with the bow is going to be another great addition to Daanty's arsenal.
Daaanty gonna leave that bow be for now and head into Desert Palace. Likely wants to put off putting that bow to use until he has the mirror and can go ahead and do the rest of Eastern, along with clearing the pod boss.
Oh yeah, that is a good point. And speaking of no mirror, that book is our currently only entry into Desert Palace.
Yep, which does mean that mirror, for all we know, could be hiding in GT, in which case you're going to have to do both Eastern and Pod sooner or later, even if you can't route them together, but no need to make that play quite yet. There are more item checks to be done here.
Oh yeah, and speaking and Daaanty also having that fire rod can also clear out Skullwoods as well. So he has plenty of things to do, certainly for on his side.
Yeah. And I suppose I shouldn't say that there are more checks here. There really are only the 2, and there's 2, one each on Pod and Eastern boss. But only one boss fight this way, and without that ice rod, you never know when you're going to run into a Trinex.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we haven't seen Trinex today so far, and of course, for our boss shuffle, the mode I think is, forget the exact name, maybe it's random, but it means that we're going to see 1 copy of each boss guaranteed somewhere, and then 3 duplicates. So we are going to have to find that ice rod today sooner at some point.
Yep, the only situation in which an ice rod would not be required in an all dungeons boss shuffle seed like this one is if the one and only Trinex is in GT basement and GT big key is not behind it. That's not what you want to gamble on happening. It's great if it happens. Don't bank on it.
Yeah, if that's our only Trinex, you are really, really hoping that you never have to fight him, because that Trinex is where ice almost would be, and if you thought regular Trinex was difficult, try on ice.
And for good measure, try it when you will never have better than green mail.
Oh, yeah.
With this hard item pool today.
As you have kind of alluded to earlier, Ben, looks like Daaanty actually opted to get hit early when he was only on 1.5 hearts, kind of death warp out of the first room of that dungeon, and hopefully kind of refill his his heart as he makes his way to the boss.
Yeah, it's nice to have that insurance in an Randomizer seed. He's got a blue goo in his back pocket if he really needs it, but you don't want to spend that if you don't have to. You want to save that for when you really need it.
Yeah, and so we often think of potions, being kind of like health refill. Because this is also boss shuffle, we also could use that potion for magic refill as well. For example, if you have to fight, let's say, like a cold stare. Now, of course, we do have half magic on our side, so magic isn't going to be kind of as tight, but it's definitely still really great to have.
Yep, but instead of cold stare, we've got a moth. One of those bosses that's really only made difficult by the arena he shows up in. When he shows up in Desert, daaanty puts him in a corner like a bad boy and makes him think about what he's done.
Yeah, and of course, with that Temper Sword, Moth goes down even faster. Alright, meanwhile, Eri has made his way through Pod. Looks like he has picked up his book, and he's going to be able to pick up his Titan Disc very shortly here.
And daaanty decides, no sense waiting too much longer for that mirror. It's time to go. Head to the back of Eastern Palace and see what's there. He's going to be happy to see the Armos Knights. And he'll even have the bow to do it nice and quick.
Oh, yeah, that's actually a really good point. And in fact, daaanty coming here later here to do Eastern, he's going to not only kill Armos faster, right, with that bow, he is also going to be able to kind of traverse Eastern Palace faster because he has boots. Oh, Eri, on the other hand here, making his way back up Death Mountain with those mitts. This is going to be really good for Eri because he is definitely going to get his Fire Rod here soon, and he's going to be able to get his bow.
Yeah, this is... I was about to say this is definitely the right move for Eri, but of course we don't know that. It's definitely a right move for him, but I mean, I suppose his other move after finding those Titans would be Smith Chain, and we haven't seen that from either runner quite yet. We still have a couple of required items left to find. Ice Rod at minimum.
Yeah, Ice Rod, and it looks like we're gonna need a complete set of medallions today. Both our runners have Quake, so we're also still hardcore gonna be looking for Bombos and Ether.
Yep, putting us a total of 4 items away from Go Mode by my count. Of course, the 4th of those Mirror could still be hiding in GT.
Yeah, and of course we are going to hard require that mirror today because we do have to finish Swamp Palace as a dungeon requirement. daaanty, not taking any prisoners, knowing he has half magic and the Fire Rod, he is just going to demolish everything in his path.
I suppose the other possibility that's open to us right now would be an Ice Palace play. Wouldn't be a bad move either with that red cane to make it nice and quick, but once again, you're taking the risk of finding that Trinex at the bottom that you can't defeat yet, so I definitely like the mountain play better. Besides just knowing that it's going to help him out because of commentary knowledge.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, certainly this is definitely a move that Eri definitely needed to make. Yeah, speaking of annoying spike placements, that guy is... I think if you're not careful, he could just knock you off and you have to start all over again. Oh, meanwhile, in the area, I think this is going to be a new check for us. daaanty's going to turn in the green pen and see what Sahajko has for us today. A 13th heart container.
Yep, coming up on that magic number 14. Of course, to get to that point, you have to find all the heart containers and all the heart pieces, I believe.
daaanty, stocking up. Where are we going today?
Well,
Yeah, meanwhile, Eri, taking his newly found fire rod, he is going to finish up and clean up kind of this portion of the world. Gonna show us what's behind, what boss is hiding here in the back of Skull Woods.
Ah, and Dante's buying a big red bomb. Interesting.
Ah, that is yeah, Dante thinking a couple steps ahead. That is most likely kind of the reason why he wanted to do Eastern Palace. So if something is here behind Pyramid Fairy, Dante is going to continue his advantage.
And once again, I'm liking the play on Eri's side. You need to clear dungeons, but of those that are available to him, if this does wind up being, well, in fact, I don't believe Trinex can spawn in this room, so this is virtually guaranteed to be completable for him.
Yeah, I think the most probably entertaining boss that we've seen so far could be Helmasaur here.
Yep, everybody always hopes for a Helmicopter in boss shuffle.
Wow, Eri just made it drop down before getting grabbed by the World Master. Instead, he encounters Vitreous here, a not easy boss for sure on conveyor belt. Oh, ouch.
Absolutely not, and Eri taking a death. Meanwhile, it looks like Dante is making that Ice Palace play. And we have still not seen any Trinaces. I don't think we've seen any doubled bosses either. We are allowed 3 repeats, required 3 repeats, and I don't think we've seen any of them, so just about anything could be hiding at the bottom of this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think you're right, because we saw a Vanilla Armos and a Vanilla Molto-Arm, and we saw Argus at the blind spot, and we see Vitreous here in the back of Skull Woods.
Eri heading back into the back of Skull Woods for a rematch with Vitreous. This time he's going to have a fairy in his back pocket. We'll see if that makes the difference.
Yeah, as a very seasoned NMG runner, Eri is very much aware that when facing Vitreous, each eyeball does 4 whole hearts of damage. And unfortunately, it'll be very difficult to kind of do the normal damage boosting NMG strats here that you tend to see on conveyor belts.
Yep, and with Green Mail, every little slip just hits you like an absolute truck.
Oh wow, alright, really nicely phase 1 done. Now Eri just has to shoot 8 arrows, which is surprisingly difficult on conveyor belts as well. But second try, Vitreous is down for Eri in a very, I would say, difficult fight. He gets rewarded, wow, with the second bow that he can't use in hard item pool. Oh.
And adding insult to injury, it tantalizes you with it. Wouldn't this have been nice just a second ago? Well, you can't have it now either.
That's right. Should talk to the devs, you know, like, don't tempt me with silver, just give me the normal green 20. Don't even tell me what it was originally. Wow, Eri making his way into desert, so I think we saw on Dante's side that it was a fully completable dungeon, so he's going to be able to clear this, but I don't remember if there's any form of progression items in this dungeon.
I don't believe there was. As I recall, just a nice, easy moth fight hiding in the back there.
Yeah, meanwhile, Dante is making his way through Animized Ice Palace. Something that you really want kind of like your entire arsenal for. as he deals with all of these spikes that he probably wishes he had some sort of invincibility item for.
Yep, of course, these freezors in the wall, not randomized, but he's got the fire rod to take them down and pull out the ice rod. Now
Wow.
that's a nice find. He can now defeat anything that he finds in the basement here.
Yeah, that's certainly going to be a relief off of seeing daaanty, going into what is a deep boss room here in Ice Palace.
Yes, chat pointing out a bit of a risky play compared to the safer Skull Woods play that Eri made.
Yeah, especially since we have not seen that mirror yet. So if this was a boss, oh wow, lucky!
Oh wow!
Lucky. Fortunate for daaanty that he got the ice rod earlier. He does not have to, basically, wall himself into the Trinex for mirroring out. He is able to finish this boss, never have to come back to Ice Palace ever again.
You know the phrase, better to be lucky than good. Well, in this case, daaanty is both.
Yeah, that green mail is like a 4-leaf clover, right? Now, of course, the good news for the fact that where the ice rod is going to be pretty much on Eri's path as well. So it is not going to be at least a differentiator in that side. In that Eri is not going to have to kind of go through and try to search for the ice rod. It'll just be on his path.
Yep, at this point we're on the lookout for an ether medallion, a bombos medallion, and a mirror. That mirror and bombos could be in GT. It's really the ether that's likely to be our next piece of progression.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, ether will it's certainly an entry into Turtle Rock, which has 5 more items for us. Ideally, of course, we would have the mirror before we get to Turtle Rock, so we can check them in the cave. But as you said, if the mirror is in GT, that is not going to be something we're going to have the luxury of checking the first time through.
Yeah, I mean, if we want to play the what's the trolliest the seed could be game, it could be mirror in GT, bombos on Mimic Cave, but.
Alright, daaanty, fresh off his Trinex skill in Ice Palace, he is going to give us a new check here in the back of Pod. See what boss is going to be lurking behind here today. As you said, Ben, with that ice rod, we are confident that we can defeat any enemy or any boss here. So, being where the boss room is in the back of Pod is actually quite a long journey too. daaanty's going to feel much more comfortable coming back here.
Yep, looks like Eri is making the same play, though, and he does not have that ice rod from Ice Palace yet. So if that's a second try next, he's going to be in trouble.
The suspense, it grows. Now, of course, the pod dark rooms, pod basement, rather, usually is just full of turtles. Of course, today we have Randomizer. What are we going to be treated with today? Bunch of Hinoxes, it looks like.
Pretty friendly turtle room today.
Yeah, yeah, and the fact that... sorry, go ahead, Ben.
I was about to say, as it usually tends to be, considering that everything has to be killable with minimal equipment in an Randomized kill room. And I do believe that's our first doubled boss. It's our second Moldorm of the seed.
Yeah, this is daaanty takes him down super fast. Eri is going to be quite happy seeing Moldorm because this is a boss that he can kill. So both runners do not have to come back to this area again.
So what haven't we seen yet? We haven't seen a blind. We haven't seen a landmo.
We have not seen cold stare.
Haven't seen a cold stare.
Alright, looks like daaanty is going to kind of retrace some of Aries' footsteps here and take his fire rod to conquer at the back of Skullwood, so he's going to have his very own fun fight with Vitreous on the Bearhoots. daaanty does have a bit more health than Eri when he ended up coming here, so that certainly could be a little bit more to his advantage to sort of stay alive just a little bit longer in order to kill all those eyeballs off. And I think daaanty also has a potion with him, right?
That I'm not sure of. He does have an extra bottle over what Eri had coming in here, so he will
Yeah,
potentially have more safeties.
That's right. Yeah, you see daaanty's muscle memory just kind of kicking in. He realized later on, partway through his dash, that he does not need, or he already picked up that key. Either way, he has plenty of entries back into back to the back of the Skullblitz. That anti-fairy being a bully, just like for Eri when he was over here.
Yep, a bully, but also potentially handy if you do wind up having to fill up a bottle, but daaanty doesn't seem to think he needs it. Takes the 3 hearts from the one in its guaranteed location and moves on. Meanwhile, Eri making his Ice Palace play, about to find his own Ice Rod and be one step closer to Go Mode.
We can see just how time-consuming these bars actually are, especially these red ones. Eri getting his health slowly chipped away, unfortunately. This is really one of those rooms where you really wish you had a Bombos or Ether medallion that you could just nuke everything all at once. Oh, Eri, please be careful. Looks like his powder out, so he wants to be able to powder his anti-fairy. Oh, good. daaanty, on the other hand, taking down Vitreous steadily, very much so. Looks like, I'm not actually sure if I personally saw the silver arrows lighting up before he ended up picking it up. Maybe the explosions kind of got in the way. So maybe daaanty was kind of spared from knowing that it was specifically the silver arrows that turned to the green 20, as opposed to, oh, here's another green 20 that you can't pick up.
Yeah, I think it was a matter of the item not having time to hit the ground because of where his Link sprite placement was. But either way, yeah, he was spared that that insult to injury. And it looks like we might be getting a bit of Smith chain from daaanty. It doesn't feel the best without the mirror, but I think we're running out of better options at this point.
Yeah, daaanty most likely was thinking, man, I really want to find the mirror before I do this. And after pretty much, as you said, everything that we've gone through so far and no mirror showing up, it's like, well, what other choice do you have left?
Yep, it could be worse, though. He does have the boots. He has the hammer to do hammer pegs. And there's the Ether Medallion.
All right. Guess where we're going next? After we turn in our buddy.
Not even... Oh, right. No mirror. I was
no
about
mirror,
to say
that's right.
A save and quit a little bit necessary to turn in that buddy. But he does have the flute to get there a little bit faster. And we'll see if he opts to grab that purple chest while he's in the area or say, no, this is good enough. Let's go to Troc.
Yeah, Eri is certainly not far behind. He's going to finish up Ice Palace here relatively quickly. After picking up his Ice Rod with more than enough magic, Tempered Sword, this is going to be a fight that he most likely is going to be used to. Daaanty claiming his prize from turning in the blacksmith of 20 rupees, not bothering with the purple chest. He's beelining his way to his next crystal dungeon.
Yep, this will also be his 7th crystal and open his way to GT and the largest possible concentration of items and chances to get the last 2 items that he needs, the mirror and the Bombos medallion for true go mode here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we've certainly seen this from every other dungeon so far, but this is not any sort of map compass, small key, big key shuffle. Everything is within its respective dungeon. And actually for all dungeons in this case, it is actually more convenient in that you're going to have to find that GT big key anyway, so you're going to basically still be clearing at least part of the basement, as opposed to kind of making that decision and gambling. Well, it's like, well, do I keep going in the basement? Do I scale? Do I climb GT earlier? Do I leave early? Type of thing. Alright, Eri making a small detour to Meyer, making his 2 quick checks and gonna pick up his 20 arrows from these chests. What does Turtle Rock have in store for us today? Well, at least it's necessary for the dungeon.
Yep, Turtle Rock, much like Pod, because of the number of small keys required, tends to be pretty backloaded when it comes to your more interesting items. Meanwhile, it looks like Eri might be heading towards a smith chain of his own, which will have him not far behind Daaanty at all as the possibilities start to narrow down.
Yeah, I think at this point, the number of checks that our runners have done that are exclusive to themselves is actually, I think, quite small at this point. So I'm not even very sure if Eri even has like that many options. Oh, but Eri did not do hammer pegs. I see. Looks like then Eri might be just opting, I guess, to do purple chests, or the smith and then purple chests along with hammer pegs.
Yeah, that's what he might be banking on. Is, well, I'm coming back here to do in the Dark World to do purple chest anyway. Might as well make that a little quicker on myself. And that does seem to be the case. He's fluting back to 3.
Yeah,
so he'll find his ether in short order.
Yeah, we're definitely getting a demonstration on Eri's side of one of the reasons why you really don't want to do this sequence without the mirror. Daaanty, on the other hand, really putting that powder to good use. I think he powdered at least 2 anti-fairies here in Turtle Rock to refill his health. Yeah, these enemies really are treating Eri very well, so it's opting to kind of do a more backwards version of Herifex.
Meanwhile, Daaanty and going through some of those rooms I was alluding to earlier that tend to be a little easier in Randomizer. Pokies, what are those? Chain chomps? Don't worry about them.
Oh, wow! What a convenient/inconvenient place for that mirror! It's buried totally deep inside Turtle Rock. But of course, it's the closest one that we have, so Danty's gonna be able to check Mimic Cave real quick.
Yep, Mimic Cave helpfully opened up a little by the devs so that nothing can hide behind those blocks that would be difficult or impossible to get in there and kill.
Daaanty is rewarded with one of 2 single green rupees in the game. Alright, Eri, very adeptly avoiding that Lionel because he was only on 4 hearts, which means if he got hit there, he would have ended up taking another overworld death, which at this point, Eri probably would not have liked whatsoever. But he makes it through. My guess is he's gonna powder a bit more to get some health back. And then he will be on his way also to and join Daaanty in Turtle Rock.
Yep, likely entering the dungeon right around the time that Daaanty is getting towards Laser Bridge here. So Eri actually has been picking up some time over the course of this seed after ending escape in a pretty bad position, taking some ugly early deaths, but I think Daaanty probably feeling pretty good about his place, has maybe been playing a little extra thorough, knowing that he has a little bit of a lead to spend.
Yeah, no, you certainly could be very, very right. In that, Daaanty's path of progression ended up finding some really nice things, right? And he was able to also, pick up, let's say, Fire Rod up on Death Mountain, kind of like his first time through. Oh, hello, Chain Chomp. Holy frick. Alright, that movement, good job, Eri, for avoiding damage. Alright, we've already seen 1 Trinex today. Are we gonna see a second Trinex here? We are not.
Well, it is blind, our first blind fight of the seed. We have still yet to see a Lanmolas or a Helmasaur, and I believe we've got 2 more doubles to go as well.
Daaanty takes Blind down in short order, getting his requisite 9 hits in. Yeah, so of course, Blind does start kind of the similar spot, but because we can't, we have to start at the bottom and rush up. Blind is not as predictable as it normally is.
And as Daaanty heads toward GT, there's a little game that we like to play around these parts.
What game has that been?
There are 22 possible spots that GT Big Key could be hiding, and if you'd like to guess where it is, you've got just a little while longer to enter those guesses.
Technically, we are still not in go mode yet. We do have the mirrors so we can complete Swamp House, but we are still looking for that Bombos Medallion. Boy, those were some really first 2 great chests there in Hope
Room. Map and compass, right up front, just to give you a little help navigating the dungeon if you need it, I think these guys have been through this dungeon once or twice, but just in case.
Oh, wow. Alright, so was that Stalfo's room or a small key room? Jeez.
Yeah, I didn't realize that that Stalfos could be enemized with small keys, but, is this that new key drop mode I keep hearing about?
Yeah, that's right. So everything, I guess, is, very clumped and grouped together. Every room has its own theme. So at least, from here on out, we're either going to basically see another key, which is going to be a big variety, or we're going to basically see a lot more items. Oh, wow, what? those spikes, man, turn into some pretty nasty lag guards.
And And that, I believe, was chest number 9, with still no sign of the big key or the Bombos medallion that we'll need for Mire access. It's looking more and more like we might see what that ice arena has in store for us. Randomizer room makes 13.
Yeah, we've picked up more bombs and money than we know what to do with.
And I wonder if this is a matter of muscle memory that Dante's pulling out the bow. Of course, it could be Armos. It could be the second vanilla Armos fight of the seed, for all we know.
That's right.
But could be almost anything else, too.
Alright, moment of truth. Are we gonna get our ice Trinex? Ice Armos?
It is!
Oh,
The commentator's curse is real!
Oh, you know, daaanty showing us the power of half the magic with Ice Rod. Man, this pallet shovel really makes it hard to actually see where those Ice Rod hits are actually landing.
Hey, you know, small comfort, you don't have to worry about letting that ice head spit its
That's
ice
right.
at you. It makes no difference.
That's right. Yeah, not even adding extra lag, right? Alright, one head is down. What else
Small
we got here for? Yeah.
Small comfort, or should I say cold comfort?
daaanty actually giving us a different check here. So, like, he was trying to actually ram himself into the body of Trinex, which was Shell. Looks like he only did 1 heart of damage versus the head was like 6 or something. Maybe it was 4. But unfortunately, did not get the chance to get that potion off in time. So, we're not going to quite see the back 3 chests quite yet.
Yep, there's still 4 more checks to go on the right-hand side here, and yeah, they're right on the way to that rematch, if indeed that turns out to be what it is. Meanwhile, Eri getting his 7th crystal at 1 hour, 32 minutes, and 10 seconds or so, almost exactly 5 minutes behind daaanty by my reckoning.
Yeah, that actually is very similar to pretty much the time difference that was between Eri and daaanty when they exited Escape.
Yep, which, considering that daaanty has gotten himself some fortuitous routing and found the boots first, that just... And there it is, there's the big key. That Ice Trinex can stay where he is for the moment.
For the moment, that's right.
But I was about to say, we should tell you something about just how on point Eri's execution has been over the course of this seed, that daaanty can start out with that much of an advantage and not really gain or lose much more.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no, you're absolutely correct. I mean, Eri is certainly very, very much known for his execution, and has definitely been, put on display here today. Now, we did find the GT Big Key, which I think looks like it was logged as number 18. We still have not seen any sign of that Bombos medallion.
Yep, and chat pointing out that daaanty is leaving some items behind here. As also Eri will be, if he opts to head up. Ooh, and daaanty taking a death.
Yeah, that room with only 1 heart is no fun.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see what Eri opts to do. I do believe he did what's called the Dark Magician route here, heading to the Stalfos room, grabbing all 4 of those items, turning around, and then going full right. But he is not going the full Dark Magician, which would carry on to, in this case, Ice Trinex. He is taking that big key. He's going to climb the tower and hope to find Bombos on the way. We know he wouldn't have found it on the left. Could still be behind Ice Trinex.
Yeah, no, I mean, so this, so we already knew from Dante's side that all of basically left side is, minus everything behind Ice Trinex, there was no Bombos Medallion, so long as Eri doesn't go back, this is actually going to be a really nice time game for him. And of course, Eri, being as adept as he is in NMG, the Gauntlet he should be very well versed in scaling this.
Yes, indeed. And that should teach you not to count Eri out until it's all over, because Dante has had a hefty lead this entire race that just narrowed by quite a substantial bit.
I would never count Eri out for like anything for this game.
Eri just went from 5 minutes behind to 1 room behind.
Yeah, and you actually see some of his experience there paying off in getting past his cannonballs. Like, I mean, he is very, very well practiced for this.
Now, of course, that lead, I shouldn't say lead, that closing of the gap could evaporate quickly if we do need to go back into GT. But I would be surprised if that happens before Swamp Palace and Meyer are both behind us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The fact that Eri, after he got the big key mirror down, decided to scale the tower, pretty much indicates that he is most likely going to leave. Like, he's not going to come back here until much afterwards. Like, after clearing, let's say, like Swamp. Okay, second duplicate boss, which is Vitreous, not on conveyor belts, which is always, a little bit nice sight for sore eyes. And we do not also have the slime that gets in the way. So Dante's gonna have actually a much easier fight compared to like a normal Vitreous.
Yep. How nice is it to be able to just walk right up and whack that big eyeball with your sword before the final phase of the fight?
Looks like Eri is actually opting to do. Eri, please be careful. So to just do normal sword slashes. Yeah, fortunate part of the Randomizer is that normally we would see Wizards there in the room before that Dante just did. We killed them one time with the Cane of Samaria. Unfortunately, they are going to be randomized today into things that move much faster. Oh, Eri, please. Please be careful.
It's like he heard you pulling out that ether medallion and saying, nuts to this.
Man. Yeah, I'm actually not sure if Eri has another, like, if he has a safety with him at this point. Because I think he was trying to catch a fairy in the safety room, but ended up just kind of picking it up as is. So my guess is his bottle is currently empty.
Yep, and he's acting like he really wants a safety here. Yep, pulls out his net and fills up that bottle rather than taking the immediate health refill. Meanwhile, Dante giving us our first new checks in a little bit. I imagine I would have seen chat exploding if he just found Bombos. But I did miss it.
Yeah, unfortunately we had a little bit more of a technical difficulty there.
And certainly I doubt he'd be grabbing this chest if he was in go mode.
That's a really good point. Alright, so
and there's Cold Stare. We haven't seen one of these yet, I don't believe, so...
Arguably a more difficult arena for Cold Stare to be in, just because the space is so limited, and you have these things that the falling eye things, or frost snowball things that you can't really avoid. But Dante, pulling out that fire rod to basically just toast these guys. Eri,
Eri is happy he grabbed that fairy. Oh. Fairy for Eri. And he'll be able to refill that right here in the next room. If she cooperates, which she won't, but...
You know, a fairy, you know, to heal life versus a fairy in a bottle, at this point, it's pretty much just gonna be the same.
Ooh, beautiful triple from Daaanty to start off his Aga 2. Followed up by a double and a near miss. Could have been a double-double, almost. But still, only one more cycle and the wizard goes down.
Yeah, Eri, meanwhile, very closely behind Dan. He's going to face his Act 2 fight relatively quickly here. So he's going to get the same patterns. Oh man, what a terrible. He's going to get the same patterns as Daaanty is. So hopefully he'll also won't lose in this case any time to Daaanty.
Yup, he gets that same big, beautiful triple.
Alright, I guess Daaanty remembering that there was a bottle with a blue potion on Floating Island. That seems actually like a pretty quick safety grab for him.
Yep, and heading into Swamp Palace. I don't think there's much left to check. Cave 45, Graveyard Ledge. We did find that mirror during the mountain climb. Oh, and one that I forgot. The Desert Tablet.
That's right. Yeah, with that mirror, it definitely opens up a lot more, let's say, locations that are somewhat isolated in terms of distance.
And speaking of taking time out to make sure one has some safety, Eri heading over to the potion shop.
Yeah, he definitely picked up pretty much a bank account's full of rupees, so you may as well spend them, right? You really can't take them with you after you finish playing the game. Alright, area right behind Daaanty. Looks like he's going to opt to go to Swamp first before checking Bonko's tablet. So he's just basically a couple screen transitions behind Daaanty. Man, this Swamp Palace looks somewhat disconcerting. It's like, you know, is this like radioactive water or something?
Did you ever drink Ecto Cooler as a kid?
Oh my gosh. Dude, I can't drink anything. Like, it's just like, it looks what, like green and slimy and like neon? I don't know. Does that seem appetizing?
Look, the 90s were a very special time.
Oh, okay. Alright. Daaanty needs to be a little bit careful here in Randomizer Swamp on 3 hearts. Did get our first check. Eri's going to show us also as well the pair of green rupees that we found in the game.
Yep, and this is a situation where one routing decision can change a whole lot of things. Whether you go left side first, leave it for after, skip it all together in favor of maybe Cave 45, Graveyard Ledge. I believe Eri did Purple Chest. I don't think Daaanty has, so there are checks outside of this dungeon, but this is where the greatest concentration is.
Yeah, you know, even though, oh no, Daaanty, 3 hearts, you know, so Swamp, pre-Randomize, right, is just a notorious dungeon for basically chipping away your health. Everything just does like 1 or 2 hearts of damage, and you don't really realize you're on the verge of death until you end up dying, because you don't usually get those heart beeps of security.
Yep. And we breathe a sigh of relief if you're rooting for the Titan's mitts that Daaanty had that fairy, but in a race this close, even just the time that it took for that fairy to proc is significant. Eri is just right on his heels at this point as they both make the play into the backside of Swamp.
Yeah, Vanilla's compass chest had the vanilla compass. Alright, we're gonna see version of Diver Down on both sides. It's like Eri is going to take over a very slight lead over daaanty. He's going to be the first ones out of this room.
And just like that, an entire game in the lead.
Wow.
And Eri takes that lead from him. This is going to be an incredibly tight finish to this race.
Oh yeah, I mean, so we still do have lots of decisions left to make. You know, where are these runners going to go back next? Is it in Lakeside Swamp? Is it in Graveyard Ledge? Is it in Cave 45? You know, so you know, Eri still has Bombo's tablet to check. daaanty still has Purple Chest.
And there's our Helmasaur, which if I've been counting my bosses right, means that the boss of Misery Mire will be Landmala's.
Oh, we have not seen him yet.
Yep, and of course the biggest, scariest play, at what point do you say, well, there's still 4 checks left in GT? No! At no point does that happen, because that's the Bombos medallion.
Nice.
We're in go mode, an hour, 46 minutes, and 20 seconds into this nonsense.
Holy cow. This has been such a turn of events. This is like amazing, right? I mean, they are literally like cutscene, like a pendant cutscene difference at this point, right? It is going to be straight up execution between daaanty and Eri, and because they basically just have like the same things left to go. This is like such a tense race, Ben. Holy cow.
Yep, the comm booth falls silent.
Oh my gosh.
Hearts in our throats. Eri enters the mire at 1 hour, 47 minutes, and 18 seconds.
Yeah. I mean, so, you know, execution is paramount. Both these runners are very well versed in this dungeon, of course, but of course, this is also Randomizer. The normal enemies that you see are not going to be there, and so the normal kind of like muscle memory pattern, especially for this next Mire 2, where you're just used to killing Po'Boys and Wizrobes in a very static manner, is not going to be the same this time around.
Yep. This is not an NMG race where certain rooms are just muscle memory. You can do it in your sleep. It's going to be twitch reflexes. It's going to be snap-second judgments from here on out, as these two runners are literally within 10 seconds of one another.
Mire big key routing also can make a difference. Alright, looks like both daaanty and Eri is going to hope that the big key is here. Is not. I believe that if it were there, both of them know how to get to that other side of the bridge.
And the Godmire dreams are dashed. Just another small key there. We're going to have to dig deeper if we want to find the last item to be found, the last meaningful item.
Of course, both runners are hoping that it's not going to be in the vanilla big key chest, because that requires another 17-second cutscene that we have to kind of wait through. Oh, hi, Wellmaster. Please don't grab me.
And we have a bit of divergence. Eri going right, daaanty going left. Just a map for Eri.
Oh, man. Eri looks like he's going to give us a little bit of door state extension. Oh, nice.
And daaanty finds it first. daaanty retaking the lead, but still by the slimmest of margins. Eri not far behind.
Yeah, Eri's going to get... Oh, please be careful, Eri. Actually, this is also something that you will have to consider. daaanty has 3 bottles. At least one of them has a blue potion. I think he has one more, I want to say. Eri he is a single one, and he did refill with a blue bottle. So damage certainly very well could make a difference here. All right, looks like daaanty kicked up some dust. I think Spooky is still active. We're gonna see here in a sec. So normally with Spooky we can save probably a screen or two, but it kind of depends on if there is an enemy we can actually hit that fire rod with. daaanty's gonna try.
Yep, it's not to be.
daaanty
That hoppy boy is not wanting to cooperate.
It's gonna be okay.
Saves himself a couple string transitions. He gets it on the anti-fairy.
Good thing that torch is always there. It doesn't get enemized away.
And Eri did not get that spooky, so daaanty's going to extend his lead by just a little bit here. Still within a very tight margin.
Yeah, as you rightfully deduced, then we have Lamos here in the Meyer boss fight. And of course, we see daaanty taking his distance because we know that slime does damage to him, so he wants to definitely keep out of that. With that, though, the fire rod shots well placed. He picks up his final dungeon prize, which is that blue pendant. Looks like someone is ready to head off to fight Ganon.
Ooh, and Eri with a beautiful one-cycle Landmo fight.
Wow, nice job, Eri. That last one. I was gonna say. I thought. Oh, okay. I thought it was gonna be a 0-cycle, but that is fun. daaanty, remembering that we just to save and quit, basically puts him right back on the pyramid. Unfortunately, he doesn't get that health refill or the full health, but I think daaanty is probably ready to fight Ganon here on Green Mail with 8 hearts.
daaanty getting in between those bats with some nice poke strats to make this second phase rather, as quick as he can make it.
Alright, 4 hearts left means that daaanty is effectively in Oko mode. He can still take one more hit from the fire bats. I think they only do 2 hearts of damage, but everyone here is going to be basically right on edge. Eri not taking any chances, he is going to drink his poop potion immediately.
And he's glad he did. He takes a face full of fire bat. daaanty gets the torch glitch. And in the final phase,
this is going to come down to who can land all their silverless hits in. So they both need 12, and ideally you would get 3 per lamp cycle. Eri also getting the torch glitch with the fire rod.
daaanty's making it look easy. Not giving any ground. And the pig goes down. Only one 3-tile bridge separates daaanty from victory.
Yeah. Wow. What a race here. Holy cow.
Get your GGs in chat as daaanty crosses the finish line with a final race time of 1 hour, 53 minutes, and 34 seconds.
Yeah, Eri right behind him, just landed his 12th silverless spin. He is holding up his sword, gonna cross this bridge very shortly after the fanfare. Finishes with an official time of 1 hour, 54 minutes, and 3 seconds. Basically 30 seconds behind this race. Get your GGs out in chat for Eri. This was an amazing race to watch.
What a race. When you sign up to commentate, this is exactly the kind of race you want to see. daaanty joining us in voice chat. GG, sir.
GG's,
hey, guys. Thanks for the GGs. GGs to Eri. Holy cow, this was a roller coaster of emotions all the way until the dot done, and then some after, I think.
I think that's a sentiment that we can all agree with. Certainly, the two of us here in the comms booth and everyone in chat had our hearts in our throats for this photo finish. We are joined also by Eriror. GG, sir.
Yo, GG's, Dante. What?
Yo,
Dante,
GG's.
man.
Yeah, GG's, Ari. You put on a phenomenal show for us. So sorry about Escape, though.
I don't want to put down whatever this race was. I don't think I've ever played so badly in the past year. It was really tough to handle. Yeah, it started with Escape, and I don't know how many fairies I burned through, but the fact that I was this close, I'm happy enough with that. And all the GGs to Dante. He deserved this one.
Yeah, GG's. I mean, I took a death in Escape, and I mean, we were talking about it in the race room. I was feeling kind of bad about that, because it was kind of careless, I felt like. And yeah, it was a time of, okay, it's a long race. I got to regroup, and I can't make any stupid decisions to waste time, because if I do, Aries going to be catching me. I can't compete with Aries' execution, in NMG right now. So I was like, this is why we're playing. He vetoed Swordless, so I was like, well, I'm slapping Randomizer because I don't know what else to do.
It worked.
I think though from what we've seen, it basically was pretty much the difference. That was the largest difference between you two, because Dante, yeah, you only took one death, right? Yeah, in Escape, and Ari ended up taking quite a few more. So I think his Escape exit time was probably 12 minutes or something like that.
Also, if there had been, if Bombos would have been on behind Ice Trinex, I was totally willing to just leave that and die on that hill, because I was like, maybe he struggles with this too. This fight really isn't that easy, and I'd already burned through a potion, so I was like, there's no point in going back. We're just gonna climb and hope for the best. And I guess it worked out. I did feel bad when Bombos did show up on the Swamp Boss, because I wasted that time. I hadn't even looked at the island, and I went and checked Bombos' tablet out of pure habit. And yeah, it was like, well, I probably lost some time there. And I was just waiting for the dot done. So it sounds like this was a really good race.
It was absolutely incredible to watch. I mean, obviously Dante with the early lead, but watching Eriror just nudge ever closer, just chipping away at that lead over the course of the seed was just an absolute privilege.
Yeah, Dante, you had some, I guess, some really nice rounding decisions towards the beginning, and you chose to go to Death Mountain early. Did the Randomizer rescued Old Man in the dark, got your hook shot, and then you got boots definitely earlier than Ari, so that definitely gave you a bit of an advantage. And then you went to go do pod, found your mitts, and found your book, and then you were able to do everything on Death Mountain, kind of in one trip.
Oh, okay. So I guess Ari got the glove off Magic Bat first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I normally don't do Old Man in Randomizer without a lamp, and I was like, well, I just saved and quit. So if I die here, if there's a roller, if there's something that just instantly kills me, I'm just gonna hard reset. I'm not even gonna try again. And then I got through it, and I was like, oh, hook shot. Lamp's probably gonna be either really late or really early. So I was kind of banking. I was just kind of worried that Lamp and Hammer would be over in Eastern, because then that would kind of be the access to Hera, and then that sequence break would kind of get squandered away. But I guess luckily it was not. So the seed kind of overall was kind of bad as far as it was just super linear for a while, and then it was kind of do you want to clear all the really bad stuff, or or not?
Yeah, I felt pretty bad because I went into pod after I found the early gloves, so I really did Hera after I found hammer and glove. Not that I needed a glove, but still. So I just wanted to bank on Bo being in either Hera or a catfish. So once that was empty and I had to go into pod, and I found the book and the myths, I was like, oh no. It's like, I have to check Invitational, but it's such a bad check. So I went all the way back to the west side of Death Mountain, found fire. I was like, well, at least I checked this. That was like one of the corners I thought I could cut potentially, but I decided not to. But it's like all those little things that like added up to being almost really bad, but just like extra time losses routing wise. I was like, oh no. It's like another thing that didn't work out. And I already lost 6 minutes in escapes. Like, what's going on? So I was expecting it up on like, I don't know, like almost for the past 10 minutes, because it could have been like in an easy check like Hobo or something. But yeah, when it finally ended up being on Argus, I was like, maybe we have a chance. But yeah, I was shaking.
I mean, Eri, like, I don't know how you didn't take damage in some of the rooms that you did in Randomizer, like the back of Easttown, in the key room. Like, I don't know how you maneuver your way through. Like, you basically got through there like with like no damage.
If you count like the total hearts of damage that I took this race, I think it's like almost 4 digits. It was crazy. Like, so I see that daaanty here has 1 fairy revival. Like, I don't want to know how many I have, but it's really bad. It's really bad. Never made use of a bug net that much.
No, you guys definitely put on one heck of a race. I mean, it was just super exciting, basically to watch through and through. And you only had 3 fairy rivals, Eri.
What? It felt like so much more. What's going on? Okay. Well, I guess I'm very good at doomsaying. But yeah, nonetheless, it was didn't feel good. But huge congrats, daaanty. Good luck on the coming 5 races with your team. Well, maybe it's only
Races,
free.
huh?
Maybe it's only free, but you know, we want some excitement.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do. I mean, I don't know what to do. This is the first time our team, we've always gone to Game 5 in the second series of the playoffs and lost. So I don't know what to do now. This is uncharted territory for us.
Yeah. It looks like according to the schedule, you guys are going to be facing off triple Dino Disasters. That's Schultzer, Shireen, and Yoshi. Have initial thoughts about that, daaanty?
I mean, they're tough. It's like, you know, we've said this all season. The Invitational League is stacked. Obviously, if people are still in it at this point, they're playing well and they're good and they're making the right decisions. So, you know, whether that be their game choices, you know, whatever, at this point, you have to have like everything on your side to keep going. And, you know, obviously these guys are good. So we'll figure out, you know, obviously it's decided who's playing who to begin with. And we'll, you know, if we get to games 4 and 5, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, really glad that you guys made it this far. Certainly, best of luck to you, Neb, and Edium to move forward.
Yeah, I want to thank the whole team for the 5 races. And, it's been a blast. Again, all the luck moving forward.
You know, thanks, Eri. GG's again to all of Eriror 216. We kind of joke that, you know, we were at the final boss of our division, and it was kind of like, you know, you see the 3 people on that team, and we were kind of like looking up, like, oh, all right, we'll see what we can do. And you know, just to have an opportunity to be in Game 5 was super awesome. I'm just, you know, I think this is kind of like cherry on top that we were able to manage to beat these guys because they're all super good. So.
Certainly from the from at least like the viewers' perspective, this race and really actually the entire series was really just a treat to watch.
%. GG's to both our runners and to everybody on both Eriror 216 and the 2019 Titans Myths of 2019.